Howdy, welcome back to Wobble Enjoy Sports. If you're new around here, hope I can get you to consider to like the content and subscribe to the channel. But if you're a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. Round 15 kicks off on Thursday night from Shark Park. Cronulla host the St. George Illawarra Dragons in, I think, what is dubbed as the Great Southern Derby. Cronulla are $1.30 favourites. The Dragons, they are $3.50 outsiders. KL Iro is out, maybe for the rest of the season, but he is out. Therefore, Hiroti comes in and plays centre this Thursday night against the Dragons. Also should be noted that we've got Toby Rudolph, who has been named on the reserves list as well. So maybe Toby Rudolph could be a late injection come this Thursday. Meanwhile, for the St. George Illawarra Dragons, Raymond Vitala-Mariner is out. He was hospitalised midway through that game last weekend, so good to see that he's doing okay, so that's really good. We've also got Tuapolotu, who's out with injury, and Valentine Holmes is also on state of origin duties, so therefore the back line for the Dragons now looks like Gutherson, Lawson, Sully, Corey Allen, and Tyrell Sloan gets a call-up. Emery Gula and Clemmer, they are the starting front row, with Leilua, Couchman and DeBellin in the back row, and the interchange is Little, Stewart, Pacifici Tonga and Hame Sele in jersey number 17. Both these sides coming off of pretty embarrassing losses last weekend. Yeah, Dragons more so in particular, but it really was the Sharks that really disappointed a fair bit of people last weekend. And I don't want to say that it's panic stations yet for the Cronulla Sharks, but the operator is standing by, because if they lose this one, if they drop this game on Thursday night, then panic stations, alarm bells will be ringing. Everything will be friggin' active at Shark Park. But I do think the Sharkies are going to win this game. It is a derby. I am going to say, therefore, the Sharks win 1-12. Friday night footy emanates from Seabus Super Stadium on the Gold Coast. The Titans host the Manly Sea Eagles. Gold Coast are $3.62. The Manly Sea Eagles are $1.29. And it is Friday the 13th, this Friday night. I mean, seriously, make sure that you don't run into any mirrors or run over any black cats. Have I ever told you that I actually ran over a black cat once? I was on the way to a house party. I had a mate sitting in the passenger side with me, and this cat came out of nowhere. I wasn't distracted or anything like that. It just came out of friggin' nowhere, and boy howdy, the crunch that it made. Oh gee whiz, that is something that never has left me. But good thing is that I didn't kill the cat. I ran over its back leg. Me and my mate got out after we pulled over to the side of the road, and then we picked up the black cat and we took it to a veterinarian who was just living in the suburbs. It was like this house with vet out the front of it. We knocked on the door with this cat who was still, in pain but still alive, and he was having a dinner party, this vet. He just looked at us and said, "You know that I'm having a dinner party at the moment?" And I said, "I'm really sorry, man, but we just ran over this black cat on Friday the 13th. Can you please take care of it? We just want to make sure that this is okay." And he said, "Okay, fine then." And so we took the black cat off of us, and we found out the day after that it was fine. And that's cool, because that night, when we dropped off, the black cat, the Black Prince, we went to a house party and got drunk and smoked, and it was just a really good time. Manly 13 plus on Friday the 13th. There are two games on Saturday, and match number one is the Knights versus the Roosters from Newcastle. Newcastle Knights, after their win last weekend, they are at $2.93. The Roosters are $1.41. I think the Knights are going to blow out a little bit more come kickoff this Saturday. That's at 5:30, by the way. The Newcastle Knights welcome back Jackson Hastings, probably not with the red carpet out, and probably through gritted teeth. From what I've heard, he's had to endure some sort of bold and beautiful storyline that's involved the Wags at Newcastle. Maybe that could be a series for the Arena channel sometime in the not too distant future. But Jackson Hastings is the 5'8" for the Newcastle Knights this weekend, partnering Jack Cogger. And the forward pack, I mean, they are decimated in the forward pack. Croker and Brodie Jones are starting in the front row. Tough players in their own right. In their back row is Dylan Lucas, Kai Pearce-Paul, and Phoenix Crossland now has to start at lock. The interchange is Matthew Arthur, Kant, McEwen, and Salesa Leamoana. And then looking over into the Sydney Roosters, well, if the Newcastle Knights are welcoming back one half, Eastern Suburbs are going to do the same thing this weekend because Sam Walker returns from an ACL injury. He returned last week and played some New South Wales Cup for approximately 40 minutes, and he's straight back into the swing of things. He will partner Hugo Savala in the halves, and Sandon Smith will come off the bench in jersey number 14. This has a Sydney Roosters victory written all over it. I'm not too sure about 13 plus. I mean, with James Tedesco there, that back line as well, okay. Yeah, Dominic Young will punch his Dominic Young will punch his future teammates in the face this Saturday, and then he'll play with them next weekend. So, I'm going to go the Roosters here, 13 plus. The second game on Super Saturday emanates from Queensland Country Bank Stadium. North Queensland host the Dolphins. North Queensland Cowboys, they are outsiders at $2.55, $1.52 about the Dolphins. And I think that's not too bad a value. I think it could even come in a little bit more for the North Queensland Cowboys this Saturday. A couple of big things to talk about for the Cowboys here. First of all, Jordan McLean plays his 150th match for the North Queensland Cowboys. Thank you, sir. I think he's been absolutely terrific for the better part of 18 months now. Also, on the other end of the spectrum, however, Caden Lars, the son of Canberra Raiders legend and Melbourne Storm player Tom Leroy Lars, he makes his debut in jersey number 17. And whilst I don't have the stats with me, if you are a fair dinkum North Queensland Cowboys fan that has been, checking out Twitter and has been keeping tabs on reserve grade, everybody, including myself, we've been thinking about Caden Lars for the better part of 2 seasons now, possibly 3 years. This gentleman has got a truckload of promise, and if he's got the same sort of motor or the same sort of venom that his father used to play with at times, then he could be a very special player. So this is a great first grade debut for Caden Lars coming off the bench in jersey number 17. Returning to the 1-17 this weekend is Murray Taulagi and Jason Taumalolo. The timing of their returns could not have been better because this Cowboys side is running into a very red-hot Dolphins outfit. But that's not all yet for the North Queensland Cowboys. So Braden Burns also returns to first grade. I think that's fantastic to see him back. He's going to be on the centre, or he's going to be playing in the centres. And I think he's going to be partnering Robert Derby out there on the right edge attacking-wise. And then Zach Laybutt and Murray Taulagi will do their thing down on the left-hand edge. And then the rest of the forward pack, McLean, Carl Lawton and Cohen Hess start in the front row. McIntyre, Kai O'Donnell and Jason Taumalolo start in the back row. And the interchange reads Edwards, McKaylee, Neem and aforementioned Caden Lars. I really like the look. I really like the makeup of that team. Great returns, timely returns for Murray Taulagi and Jason Taumalolo. I'm pretty confident they can give this Dolphins side a fair bit of curry this weekend, but going into the Dolphins side now, so Hammer, he's playing State of Origin. Jake Averillo plays at fullback. Isako and Bostock playing on the Stings. Fengai and Farnworth, they are the centres. It's Max Fengai who's playing in the centres this weekend. Nikarima and Isaiah Katoa. Holy moly. I'm sweating bullets already. The forward pack for the Dolphins, Francis Molo, Jeremy Marshall-King, Felice Kafusi, Kuli Kefufenefuyaki plays up against his old club, this Saturday, and Orion Keeley and Kurt Donahue rounds out the back row playing the lock position, and the interchange is Ray Stone, Connolly Lemuelu, Mark Nichols and Josh Kerr. Connolly Lemuelu, just quickly, ex-Cowboy, wasn't happy that we let him go. And he's been so good for the Dolphins. And he had an absolutely cracking effort last weekend against the Dragons. So couple of old Cowboys returning to old stomping grounds. I think that this will be the game of the round. I think this arguably is the game of the round for round 15. So I absolutely believe that the Cowboys can pull off the victory. Yes, the odds say that it would be an upset, but I wouldn't be surprised if the odds come in closer towards kickoff. Cowboys, they just need to simply restrict the Dolphins to 3 tries or less, because on average the Cowboys for the better part of 6 weeks now have leaked 5 tries. Also, I should make mention, I didn't make mention of this before, the big red dog Jake Clifford is also back playing halfback, partnering Jackson Purdue this weekend. So Clifford versus Katoa is a pretty interesting halfback battle. Maybe you could suggest that Clifford's got the bigger boot, but Katoa is in sensational form at the moment. Nikorima as well, his halves partner, I think he has been playing very solidly throughout 2025. So the halves battle is a really good one. I think this is a really good matchup. So yeah, go Cowboys. They're going to get the dub this weekend. Doing it for Caden Lars, doing it for Jordan McLean, Jason Taumalola, Murray Taulagi returning, Braden Burns and Jake Clifford. I like the side overall, but the defense and the completion rates in particular this weekend, after completing at 60% last weekend, needs to improve dramatically. These sides, they have played out some absolute thrillers. I think only one of their past 4 meetings has resulted in 13 plus, and every time they have faced each other, the away team has won on every single one of those 4 occasions. So let's buck that trend this weekend, North Queensland, and walk away with the 2 competition points. Go Cowboys. And the final game of round 15 is on Sunday. The one game on the Sunday, South Sydney Rabbitohs host the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs at Accor Stadium. Souths, they are $2.63. The Bulldogs, they are $1.49. Let's go through both of these lists because I think there's a fair bit of change for both of them. So Gray, Johnston and Munro, the back 3 with Whiten and Tass in the centres, Sullivan and Humphreys in the halves. Arrow, Havili and Kolomatangi have been named to start in the front row. Aitken, Duncan and Hubner are the back row. I think Kolomatangi has been named as 19th man for the Blues next Wednesday. And Jai Arrow, I think, was desperately unlucky not to be selected in the Queensland squad. The interchange, David Mawali, Kepi, LeBlanc and Totola. Campbell Graham has also been named in the reserves as well, so he could be a late injection this Sunday for the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Tracy, Wilson and Montoya, that's the back 3. Sherry and Carraz are the centres. Carraz shifting into the centres. Galvin has number 6 on his back this weekend, partnering Toby Sexton. That'll be an interesting watch. That'll be fascinating to see how those 2 players synchronise together, or try to. Forward pack is Curran, Marnie and Saluka Fafita. Kick-out, Jacob Preston returns this weekend. Holy smokes. And Bailey Hayward is at lock. Turpin, Hayes, Hopoi and Morin round out the interchange, and Sam Hughes has been named on the reserves list as well. This is easily the most difficult game to tip of the entire weekend, without bias goggles on, obviously. But I just think the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs will get the chockies. They're still playing at Accor Stadium. It is their home. For how much more longer, especially in South Sydney's case, don't know. But yeah, I'm going to go the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs to win this game. 1-12, I think she'll be close. I think Rabbitohs, they can have the heads held high after the effort they put in against the Raiders last weekend, even though it did get away from them. I think they'll give the Dogs a bit of a run for their money, but I think it'll be like a comfortable, maybe a 20, like a 24-14 sort of a scoreline. So like not 13 plus, but like a comfortable 1-12 victory for the Dogs this Sunday. Howdy guys, thank you very much for your continuous support. I hope you enjoyed that video, and you can see me next for a live stream on Friday night with Terry. We're going to do the Gold Coast versus the Manly Seagulls, and then Dor is also going to be returning to Wobble and Joy Sports this Saturday to do Cowboys versus Dolphins. There is a live stream for State of Origin Game 2 coming next Wednesday. That's going to be with Dan from the Rugby League Outlaws, and we've also got the BMD Premiership kicking back up again. So I hope to have a video out tomorrow morning. So yeah, just got to get stuck into the study and fight the sleep urges. So yeah, thank you very much for your continued support again, and I hope you all have a very good weekend. I'll see you guys on Friday night for the live stream. Thank you very much. Take care. Adios.